Welcome to this Qigong practice. We're going to bias this towards yin energy. Now the reason for that is we've got this wonderful overcast fall day. And it's Friday morning in Wisconsin, which means I am post-teaching spin. So I teach spin 5:15 in the morning on Fridays at Windsor Athletic Club. Shout out to Windsor Athletic Club. Filled with a lot of yang energy. It's big music, it's dark lights, it's big effort. And so this is a chance for me to calm down and connect to yin energy. Now I bring that up because it's great to practice both ends of the spectrum. Practice activities that actually help us connect and calm down, and practices that help us connect and go big. This is our connect and calm down. So let's begin with a wide leg stance, knocking on the door of life. We'll do just enough yang, we'll do just enough efforting today to kind of catch our nervous system. And like I said, we'll spend most of the time guiding it back to a place of being grounded, calm, and center. Now this time of year, this transition of summer to fall, late summer officially, if you look around me, it's starting to look a lot like fall. The leaves are starting to fall. We connect to the earth element, which is our invitation to ground. We can also start to flirt with the metal element, which is wind or breath, which we do every time anyways. It's also okay to bring a little bit of remnants of summer, that kind of heat building fire element in. All right, let's go to those lung points. Metal element. That space right between the shoulder and the chest. Lung points 1 and 2. Nice little boost to our immune system, helps wake the body up. That hand knocking at our low back right over the kidneys, the batteries. This is just a way to skillfully activate the body. We're going to the upper traps now. Opening the door for a little clear thinking, back to the chest points. We don't need too much clear thinking. I'm joking. I could always use a little boost. Then let's go to the lower dantian, those lower points, lower abdomen, low back still. That backhand always knocking over the same spot right between the first and second lumbar vertebrae, also known as Ming Men. All right, make this beautiful transition now to water waves, a very yin movement. We feel the arches of the feet still lifting. The toes are gentle kickstands. The knees are soft. The tailbone drops towards the earth as the crown of the head just gently lifts skyward. And we start to sense the air moving over the palms of the hands. This just brings our nervous system into focus. And then we'll release that. Spinal cord breathing. With a breath in, we open the chest. And a breath out, curve forward to help the breath out. A breath in to open. And a breath out to close. So the tongue rests gently on the roof of the mouth. The breath is in and out through the nose, nice and even, but allow the movement to help that breath in as we open the chest, and allow the movement to help the breath out. Now let's do a couple of these where we magnify that. So intentionally, we're going to make the breath bigger than we need. So a big breath in. And a big breath out. All of it in and out through the nose right now. Big breath in. Big breath out through the nose. So now let's do 2 in through the nose, out through the mouth. Big breath in. And let it all go, let it all go, let it all go. Big breath in. Big breath out. Now take a moment just to check in. What that practice does is actually agitates the nervous system, oftentimes in a skillful way. It leaves us with a feeling of a little bit of dizziness, but you may also feel an increased ability to settle. It's a cool feeling. It's an example of the benefit of activating the system, pushing it, and then stepping out of the way and letting it come back. And now let's come back to spinal cord breathing, and this time, let the breath be just a little bit more subtle than you would naturally do. I want it still to fall in this window of comfortable. But you can be a little surprised at how quiet you can allow the breath to be. In other words, it's very low volume. The pace is set by the movement. You've got two variables. You've got the speed in which you breathe and the volume of air you move with each breath. The variable that you'll play with right now is letting the volume be very subtle. Just a little bit less than you think you need, but surprisingly okay. One more. And now again, check in. And we're going to just notice the difference between that checking in after the big breathing and the checking in now. What you may notice is that your attention is able to go a little bit deeper, a little softer, a little quieter. Wide leg stance. Moves like a river. So side to side movement, allowing the hips to initiate the movement. The upper body follows, trails behind. Give a little extra attention to where the weight is in your feet. Feel it strongly in the heels, actually even between the heels and the balls of our feet. As the work increases, we tend to roll onto the ball of our feet. And so keep the weight into the heels. Give a little smile to your toes. The toes should just be relaxed, giving a little bit of balance information, not working, certainly not white knuckling it. So if you're barefoot like I am, feel free to look at your toes and just see, are your knuckles nice and even colored, or are you white knuckling it? And if so, let go of that. And then as you're ready, arms can come up overhead if you'd like to play that way. Just helping to magnify this sense of the upper body flowing at the direction of the hips, at the direction of the center. Opening up the side body. It's our wood element, our place of creativity, generosity. So you can give a little internal nod to creativity and generosity. Nice to work in any season. And then let's come to the center and hang forward. We're going to open up these lines of tension in the back of the legs, associated with the water element or winter time. All of the elements have a component in each season. So while this season is a little bit biased towards the earth and wind eventually, it's nice to touch all seasons in each season. Now stacking one hand on top of the other. Come up overhead into a slight back bend. Now let's hold this back bend for a moment. It's a bold move. The knees are soft, the tailbone drops, and that creates a sense of space in the low back even though we're compressing it. And now see if you can find your breath into your lower ribs. At the same time, you keep your inner arches of your feet lifting. What this is a way to capture yin energy and hold it in the face of yang energy. The yang is the efforting. It's the threat that comes with a back bend. The yin is that message that says everything's okay, and release. Like I say, bold move to do in the face of a position like that. Let's do it again. Let's start with our moves like a river. The name of it left me for a second. It was a lot of connecting to yin in the face of yang with that back bend. Hands come up overhead. Nice example of how it just kind of rattles and shifts the nervous system. And that's the game. That's what we're doing. Then come to the center, hang forward. Allow yourself to go deep in this position.
releasing the back of the neck, letting the crown of the head come towards the earth. The knees can have a soft bend in them, and just feeling the lines of tension in the back of the legs. One hand stacks on top of the other.
With a breath in, we come up overhead. And again, let's hold that bold position. Check in on our points. The toes are soft. The knees are relaxed. The tailbone drops. That gives us stability in the low back. Keeps the threat at bay. The breath is steady and easy in and out through the nose as we look up to the hands. The inner arches of the feet pick up to send a signal to the nervous system that we're in control. All is good. And with a breath out, release. Step the feet in, let's shake. So a breath in through the nose, a breath out through the mouth. Let's use the heart sound, a ha sound. So let's do 4 of those. And just check in. This check-in is likely to be a bit of that Goldilocks check-in. So the first time we checked in was after some big breathing. Our nervous system was whirling about. The second time we checked in, we had really calmed the system down. We were in a little bit darker, calm place. This one is likely that in-between. Again, there's benefits to building skills at all ends of the spectrum. And let's take a wide leg stance now. We're going to play in the world of Dao Yin. Dao Yin is sort of this connection between Taoist Qigong practice and yoga practice. They really all had similar, if not the same, roots. Letting one elbow rest on the knee. Incidentally, both feet pointing forward, maybe slightly out. We're going to bring one arm up overhead as one arm rests on the knee, and then we turn to look over. With a breath out, we come to the center, release the pose, and with a breath in, we open the other side. A breath out, we come to the center, and a breath in to open. Finding this straight line between the heel and the index finger. And the other side. You may notice that this one's a little more limited with me. Those of you who have been following me know that I've recently had a rotator cuff surgery. It's coming along nicely. But I still have some evidence of it. One more time to each side. And a release. Using the breath in to help open. Finding that energetic line from the heel of the leg that's straight to the index finger of the arm that's straight. And releasing. Let's come back to our forward bend. One hand stacks on top of the other. Breath in. We're coming to our skillful back bend. Drop the tailbone. Release the toes. Connect to the breath. And release. We're getting good at that, so we can touch that moment quickly. And now let's point one foot out, drop the other heel back. And we're going to do a similar motion to that. So elbow now comes to the knee, arm up overhead, turn to look overhead. What you'll notice is this position allows us to come into a little bit bigger range. Find that nice straight line, even if it's just in your mind. Don't worry if it doesn't show up in your body yet. Then we're going to windmill that arm back, staying in this lunge position with a breath out. And then with a breath in, the back hand comes to the back knee and we lift. With a breath out, we release that position. And a breath in, open the side body. Breath out. And an easy breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Staying in contact with the vein of yin. The vein of yin is that ability to keep our breath steady. And in that, steady the mind. In the face of work, we can still feel that place of ease and control. A breath in and a breath out. A breath in, breath out, and release. Let's go to the other side. So point the other foot out, drop the other heel back. Come into that lunge position. Elbow on the knee. A breath in to open. Flirt with that straight line. That's the best I can do on this side. So that's our breath in with a breath out. We come to this warrior position and a breath in to open the other aspect of this flow. A breath out, back to our warrior, just keeping this nice strong lunge, and a breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. And back to our warrior position. Release, turn the feet towards the center. Forward fold again. Feeling the inner arches lift, the toes are relaxed. Pick the tailbone up towards the sky as you allow the crown of the head to come towards the earth. Stack one hand on top of the other. Come into our skillful, powerful back bend. Now, the degree to which you back bend is not nearly as valuable as the energy that you hold in this position. We build the energy up in this position. Tailbone drops towards the earth. The knees are soft. The inner arches are lifting. The breath is steady and easy. And release. Let's step the feet in. Thumbs come to the low back. Press in right. We'll go close to the center of the spine and we'll just work our way up. Hip circles. Just releasing any of that energy that hangs out in the low back. Thumbs move up just a little. We're making our way up to L1, L2, Ming Men, the kidney area. That place we store energy. And there we are. Feeling that upper lumbar spine, lower thoracic spine, lower ribs. And then let's make our way back down as we switch directions. And release. Powerful dragon. Let's come back to our lunge position. It's our last young movement, our last efforting movement. Find the hip width, find the width of a stance that feels comfortable to you. You can adjust once we get there, if you need to as well. We're going to bend the front knee, and then the opposite arm comes forward, while the same side arm pulls back. I'll be showing you both sides. The upper body is upright. So the back leg, although the leg is straight, there still is a softness to the back knee. And then we'll switch sides, keeping the upper body still. Pushing the other arm forward, pulling the other one back. A push-pull movement. Now, if we coordinate the breathing with this, here's how it goes. The breath out is when the opposite hand comes forward, and we turn to look over the other shoulder. And a breath in to open. A breath out to press. A breath in to open. So the softness of movement, the softness of the breath, is what keeps yin on board in the face of efforting. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Hold here now and allow the breath to become steady, stable. Tuck the chin just a little bit to feel the crown of the head lift skyward. Remind the toes to be relaxed. Drop the tailbone to take tension out of the low back. And then drop that front elbow just a bit. Soften the gaze. Give a smile internally. And then release. Other side. Find the stance that feels comfortable. Opposite hand presses forward. Same side hand pulls back. This is our breath out. Come into your lunge. A breath in to open. A breath out to press closed. We're helping the breath out. A breath in to the place of ease. And a breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Hold here now. Finding that stability. Drop the front elbow. Feel how that releases the shoulder. Drop the tailbone. Relax the toes. And release. Let's shake that out. We're going to come back to that. And we're going to do just a little bit bigger movement of that. So one breath in through the nose. That's all we needed to reset. Now, this last version of this, we're going to come onto the toes. What that's going to do is set you free to rotate a little bit more. And in that, you'll work balance just a little bit more. So let's come to that heel off the ground. You may have noticed that was a nice recovery I just did. I felt that balance threat, and to keep myself from pitching into the water, I had to readjust. Opposite hand comes forward, same side pulls back. There's our breath out. A breath in. A breath out. Turning up the volume on this pose as much as you'd like. So coming as low as feels comfortable, or as low as you feel like accepting challenge. Still keeping yin on board. So still keeping that sense of control and flow. One more time. Breath out, breath in. All right, back to center. Let's come off that back heel, spin that around. Recognize this gives us a little more rotation. Same side hand pushes forward, pull back, there's our breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. Breath in, and back to center. Again, one breath in, one breath out. That's all it'll take to reset. Shake, breath in. Then, Let's play the balance equation a little bit differently now. We're going to do flying. Now, flying, interestingly, is yang in the sense that there is this threat to balance. So it activates the nervous system, gets us on board. But it really has a strong yin component. Because as we become more successful with this movement of flying, picking one leg up, lifting the arms, that comes from mostly connecting to yin energy. In other words, finding a way to do it that feels easy and effortless. Now, you may start with just having a toe stay in contact with the ground, where you get this sense of rising with a breath in and releasing with a breath out. Or if you feel comfortable with it, pick the leg up as the hands come up and come down and either hover right above the earth or gently touch the earth. We're going to do 200 more of these. No, we're not. I lost my balance just thinking of that. Let's switch sides. Start out very yin. Keep your toe on the ground. And as you connect to that flow, the ease, keep your sights on that flow and ease as you accept the challenge of picking the leg up if you'd like. Just giving an internal smile to the yin energy, to the ease. Got a deer in the water to my left. I don't think he'll come into camera view. This energy we created told the deer it was okay to be a little closer. Then maybe he realized there was a camera going. It scared him off. And release. Pebble in the pond. Quintessential late summer grounding movement. A breath in as the hands come back to the hips, and a breath out as we release. The invitation here is to enjoy a little bit longer exhale. And as I say that, don't think of it as efforting to make that exhale longer. And in fact, just the opposite. You're going to do what your body actually wants to do, what your physiology actually wants to do. So you're looking for that pace, that feeling of ease. It might be exactly what I'm doing, or you may have your own version of it. Breath in as we land. It's just a nice, subtle, soft, easy breath in. And then this nice, long, luxurious breath out. Subtle, easy breath in. Breath out. Breath in. One more time. Breath in. Let's do a one-arm version of that. Creating a figure eight. It's a little fancier. So it's the same breath in as we land, a breath out as we spiral that movement in front of the lower abdomen. Breath out, and a breath in. A breath out, breath in. Breath out, figure eight movement. Breath in. One more to each side before we take the last version of this. You can approach this with a little sense of humor. We're going to do both arms at the same time, alternating. And here we disconnect the breathing to the movement. So the breath just stays steady as the arms alternate with this figure 8 movement in front of you. If that feels natural and you've got it, great. Settle into the weight of your footprint. And just recognize as you keep the breath steady and keep the movement with ease, your footprint becomes a little stronger. If you don't have this movement quite yet, and I know there's many of you out there who will feel that way, then just take a little humor in it. Notice that the energy is moved up in your body. It may be in your chest, it may be in your head. That's what happens when we don't feel like we're getting something right, or we're struggling and we're learning. It's okay. Just notice that. And then let's come back to Pebble in the pond. And maybe you notice that after that little bit of mental yin challenge, your footprint can be a little stronger yet. Your ability to ground is improved. Last one. And then let's bring the feet together. We'll do our centering motion. One hand rests under the lower abdomen. We gather energy and bring that down the center. Breath in. Center. One hand stacks over the other, bamboo in the wind. Our soft knees. Acknowledging the wind that starts to become more and more of the season we're stepping into. And our ability to enjoy that wind has everything to do with this sense of rooting into the earth. Thank you for your practice. If you enjoyed this practice, well, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. I love hearing from you. All right, I'll see you in the next video.